This bus is taking up 2 lanes. Look at him.
Okay, so what's up, guys? Welcome to Thoughts in the Kitchen, episode 4. Is it 4 or 5? I don't know. I know we aren't in the kitchen this time, but you know what? I figured we needed to switch it up a little bit. And yeah, so I'm feeling great. It's a great night tonight in LA. Picking up my sister from the airport. I just wanted to talk a little bit. A few weeks ago, I got requests from people on what I should do my next video of. So we're going to talk a little bit about the horrible acting in Christian films. And also, we're going to be talking about the horrible everything in Christian films. Yes, because everything's horrible in Christian films. Anyway, so let's get started. Let's kind of talk about this a little bit. So there's kind of a lot of different reasons why Christian films are very poor, not only in quality, but just artistic value. Yeah, look at this. Oh, he cut him off. Oh, dang, okay.
You kind of have to when you're in LAX.
Yeah, true. Oh, there's Calvin.
Yeah.
Calvin's a crazy driver, yo.
All these people are crazy drivers.
Some of this has to do with kind of a philosophy of cinema and what you kind of believe about, film and art. If you believe that, art should be used as just, like a tract for like what you believe in, that's really not the way that I think art is meant to be used. A lot of Christians like Christian movies, maybe because it's they're like wholesome, they have like good content, for the family, or like it has such a good moral at the end. But at the end of the day, you're lowering your standards, and you're basically saying like Christians don't have to make good pieces of art. Instead, they can make bad pieces of art with, the other stuff that they want, A lot of times, our first thought is going to like, the horrible acting in Christian movies. But I would argue the biggest problem with Christian films, you can skip the acting and you can have amazing actors and they'd still be just as bad. And the reason for that is because a lot of it comes down to the writing. I'd say the writing is even more horrible in Christian films than maybe even any of the acting, And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of bad acting that's in Christian films. But something we see time and time again is that you can have, maybe even 1 or 2 good actors, in even like a faith-based drama. And you give them a horrible script and it just doesn't work, Oh, Mustache Man is about to get us. You know what? Another thing that's crazy with Christian films is kind of the subtle subconscious messages. And a lot of Christians love watching these films because what happens is, and this is totally subconsciously, nobody's really doing it on purpose. Let me take a film, for example. Let's talk about God's Not Dead, okay? God's Not Dead, you have this courageous Christian student standing up to a atheist professor. And in this film, the atheist professor is portrayed as a very kind of mean, kind of like grumpy. What happens when these Christian filmmakers come in and paint this portrait of like the evil atheist, these Christians come in and watch this film and they say, wow, like this film is amazing because this Christian student just stood up to this guy and he just straight up proved to this guy that God's not dead, They have a freaking altar call in the classroom. Yeah, it's cringy. Christian films are cringy. Yeah, but you just see like, the people in Christian films, like the people that aren't Christians are antagonized. The reason why that's done is that does make the Christian feel better. But I would argue that's not good. You aren't reaching new audiences. You're just keeping your same audience. You're keeping a Christian audience, You have the antagonization of people that don't agree with you, right? What happens if somebody's not a Christian that comes and watches it in the audience? They're like, this is a piece of crap. Well, they think that, all atheists are like this, so representation definitely matters. I believe film is an art form. I don't think it's some sort of, just means of like telling people information. I think films are best executed not when they make a statement, but if they ask a question. One of my favorite books on art is a book called Art in the Bible by Francis Schaeffer. It's very contrary to popular belief how like a lot of Christians like view art. The problem with a lot of Christians is they view art as like as like a gospel tract versus using art as like kind of a form of worship in itself. And that's the way that art should be. It should be a form of worship, you know, praise, like giving God the glory. When you view art in that way of like portraying life and being truthful, this lane is gonna end too, you know that, right?
I don't care. I can pass as many people as I want.
Oh shoot. He says he can pass as many people as he wants. Like, art should reflect life. It should reflect the beauty of life. It should reflect the pain of life. That's the only way to create, you know, impactful art. Otherwise, you are creating art that is just a means to an end, you know, and it's not just existing, you know, for any other sort of divine, like, eternal purpose. So long story short, that's a thing. About PureFlix, I mean, it's a company like anything others, and I mean any others. I get that they have a set audience. I get that they have, you know, specific directors that are under their production management, just like any other film studio. But at the end of the day, it's like, what's more important? Is it making art, or is it making a buck off of Christian audiences that like to sit in the seat and cheer for the, you know, Christian kid proving the professor wrong? A lot of Christian films are more fueled by the feeling of being attacked and like persecuted, just feelings of like fear. I think we need to have more of a compassionate worldview. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. I know it's been a while since I've done a video. I've kind of been out and about, so that's why I was just kind of like, you know what, I'll just pick my phone up and shoot this video here. So please follow me on Instagram at Caleb_Arend, Twitter at Caleb Arend, Letterboxd at Caleb Arend as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, and you have a great rest of your week.